Oops, wrong thing here. Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to a Friday evening. Yes, I'm out of town again. I do apologize. Always on the road somewhere. This time it's not Nebraska right now. This time it's for pleasure. And we got a special guest tonight. I'm sure you know that already. I'll let some people get online here with us. What's everybody doing on a Friday night? That's what I want to know. Where is everyone? And I saw a few posts. People were on an island having dinner and that kind of thing. And we're going to spend a few minutes. We've got Mayra Flores with us tonight. And we'll get to know her. If you have comments or questions, you can post those. And let's bring on Mrs. Flores. Can I call you Mrs. Flores, or do I just call you Mayra?
However you want. It doesn't matter.
Everyone, welcome Mayra Flores. Welcome to our program. You'll see we are a very easygoing program. We're not here to set you up or trick you or any of that kind of stuff. At this point, it's your first time here, so we just want to get to know you a little bit, and you are welcome back again anytime we have some more deeper issues that might come up.
I appreciate
it. And it is a Friday. I'm assuming Friday might take a little while before some people actually join us on here because it's a Friday evening.
Absolutely.
So tell us, who is Mayra Flores?
Mayra Flores. Well, I was born in Tamaulipas, Mexico, Burgos, Tamaulipas, and I came here when I was 6 years old. I feel really blessed that my father was able to file and bring us to the United States at a very early age. My parents are migrants, so we did move a lot growing up. I worked alongside with them in the cotton fields at a very early age. I think I was 13 years old when I started working, and it was to help them and help myself, and it's something that I'm really proud of, and I always talk about because I know that there's lots of kids going through the same thing, moving a lot and going up north and working, and they're my inspiration, and I want to be an inspiration for them as well. I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life, so I decided, okay, I'm going to go to college, and I was truly blessed that I had the opportunity to do that, and I became a respiratory care practitioner, and later on got myself a bachelor's in health management as well. Got married at a very young age as well, at 20 years old. I started a family as well. My husband was a police officer in TSTC, at TSTC in Harlingen for many years. Later on, became a Border Patrol agent. But yes, that's my story. Also graduated from San Benito in 2004, so I'm a Greyhound. I'm very proud of that. So I lived there many years as well, and yeah, I decided to get involved in politics 4 years ago. That's when I decided to get involved in the local community and wanting to know more about South Texas and why we voted a certain way, and realized that South Texas by nature is very conservative, and decided to educate my community on each platform, the Democrat Party's platform and Republican. Honestly, that's what I've been dedicating myself for the past 4 years, is just educating the community on our platforms. I just wanted them to know exactly what they were voting for, not necessarily push them to vote a certain party. I just wanted them to know what they were voting for. And that's what I've done for the past 4 years. And I think that anybody who runs or decides to run for any position should volunteer and should know what it's like to block walk, should know what it's like to phone bank, and should know what it's like to be a volunteer and help candidates. And a lot of times, they think, well, I have a law degree and I don't have to do that. No, it doesn't exempt you. I do believe that you got to know your community before you run any position in office. That's just my humble opinion, and it's helped me be where I'm at because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I
So
was going to ask you. I was going to mention. I'll be displaying comments down here.
yes,
We don't have to answer every single one as they come on, especially if we're in the middle of something. But if you recognize somebody or somebody says hi to you, feel free to say hi or give a wave or
yes.
whatever you want to do. And everyone will
Hello,
try to get to
Brandy.
your we'll try to get to your comments, and I will display as many as possible. And whether we get
Thank
to them,
you.
on the spot or later in the show, we'll do that. Chuck, how are you? Welcome. So, are you
Hello,
still? So
Chuck.
you're still in the daycare? You're working in the healthcare industry?
Yes, yes, sir. Like I said, I'm a respiratory care practitioner, so I've been in the front lines for many years, especially now with COVID-19, making sure that all our patients that get out of the hospital, especially our COVID-19 patients that are discharged from the hospital, want to make sure that they have all their respiratory equipment at home, and that they're being taken care of. I work with the elderly community,
Uh,
which is a very special community for me. Grew up very close to my grandparents, so I love the elderly community, and that's what I do Monday through Friday. Actually, I that's
how do you find the
my
time?
part-time job.
Because you're always busy. You're always speaking somewhere. I mean, all the
Yes,
time. And I
yes,
figured, well, maybe she's not working and she's got the luxury, which is awesome. But I mean, if you're
no,
working
I
a
don't.
full time job, you're really busy. Too tired. Sometimes you get tired. You have to. I imagine.
Time management, honestly, it's all about
Yeah.
time management. And I work actually Bronxville area, Harlingen area, Cameron County is the area where I see all my patients, and truly blessed to have that job. And I do. I'm not unfortunately privileged to quit my job, at the moment. And I love it. It's probably going to be the hardest thing to do because I love the elderly community, love going to their home and taking care of them. It's something that I'm passionate about, and it kind of the same because with in I want to serve the community, so it's
Mhm.
very similar. And that's probably why I love it. I love both so much because I'm serving the community in different ways, but it's very similar. But yeah, that's going to be the hardest thing to do whenever I have to leave my job because I truly love what I do. But yeah, it's just time management. And so far, I've been blessed that, I've been able to do both. But we'll see what happens moving forward if I have to. And of course, that's what I'll do. But so far, I don't have to, not yet.
Yeah. So while we're on the topic of healthcare, how do you see the COVID situation right now in, at least in Cameron County, in your district? Since you're in the healthcare industry and you work every day and
Yeah,
you deal with the public, are we on a trend down? I wouldn't say recovering from it, but it surely looks
yeah.
like things are maybe settle down a little bit. How do you see that?
I do. I do see personally, going down for sure significantly, especially since last year. And I'm glad to see that. But of course, I still believe that we should still continue, taking precautions. But I'm glad to see, our businesses opening. That to me was the most important because I never agreed to shut someone's business. Unfortunately, those people had to pay their bills, and then, the government is expecting them to pay their taxes when they were being forced to close their business. And that's something that, I strongly disagree. You force them to close, why would you force them to pay their taxes? They should be exempted from paying any taxes at all, especially our business owners. So
Yep.
I'm glad to see them, opening and seeing people back to work. But of course, I lost, family members. I lost, you know, friends as well. So it's something very difficult to see, and that in me seeing it, it's it was scary because I would tell people like it's something, it's real. I see it, and it's important to take precautions, but at the same time, I felt it was wrong to close our economy because we needed a strong economy. We need a strong economy if we want to be able to fight any virus, COVID-19, and to help the community. We need to keep the economy grow to pay for
Yeah.
all these expenses. And that's why I was strongly against, forcing business owners to close their business.
Yeah, that is tough, especially, that's the way some people make their living. That's their day
Yes,
job. So when you tell them
amen.
shut the doors or you can only operate at 25% capacity, that's got to be crippling.
Yes,
Um,
very, very.
so what is your, what do you say to those that, well, you can't open up because, it's good, you're gonna spread the virus, and those that still, you know, we get into this whole topic of clothing restaurants and now wearing masks or not. And I'm a proponent of don't be a mask hole. I don't know if you've heard that term before. Don't be a mask hole, right? So I'll wear it to make other people comfortable. I'll wear it where
Hmm.
I need to wear it. If I walk into a business and they say you have to wear a mask, like, okay, I'll wear it.
Absolutely. Yes.
But I'm not going to ridicule somebody who wears it. I'm not going to ridicule somebody who doesn't want to wear it. It's just when I step outside, I'm not going to wear my mask outside outdoors. I'll refuse that. When I'm
Yes.
alone in my car, I'm not going to wear my mask. Is where do you see COVID right now? I mean, is it still? I know we kind of touched on it just a minute ago, but is it?
Yeah.
What is your feeling to where we stand right now with it?
Well, I do see things getting better, absolutely, and I do believe that we should, move forward, with our lives. And but I agree with you. Those who want to wear and continue wearing a mask, absolutely, it's your decision. If you feel safer wearing a mask, you should be able to wear a mask. If the business requires you, we should respect them, as well. Personally, myself, if they require a mask, I'll wear it. If they don't, I don't wear it. But that's just my personal decision. But I think that everyone has, what if they have health underlying issues, that they feel that they have to wear their mask? I respect that. And there's people who have asthma. have a friend who says that, it triggers her wearing the mask every time. And
Yeah.
so she has asthma, doesn't wear the mask at all. And she's like, I wish I could wear it, but every time I wear it, it triggers. So I don't wear it at all. So we can't judge people for wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. I think it's a personal choice. That's just my humble opinion. Also, the vaccine. I think it's also a
Yeah.
personal choice as well. If you want to take the vaccine and you feel better taking it, absolutely. But again, it's a personal decision, and I believe in that.
Do you think the vaccine, the distribution of the vaccine, has been handled well? Could it have been done better?
No, especially with my elderly community, absolutely not. I had my elderly community telling me, that they were going to have to wait 8, 9 hours at the beginning to get the
Wow.
vaccine. Our elderly patients can't do that. They can't wait 8 or 9 hours. That was very wrong. And so many of them would tell me they still have not gotten the vaccine. I'm like, how can you not get your vaccine? These young people are getting the vaccine. Our elderly community should be first. They should have been first, then later on. But so yeah, no, I didn't agree with the way it was handled. I thought that the clinic should have handled it where the patients came in, and it would have been easier for them, especially our elderly who cannot be in line for hours and hours and hours. I honestly don't know how they did it. And so many just got out of line because they couldn't wait any longer. I have a few patients who still have not gotten the vaccine, and
Mm.
who are still waiting on that. So yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to improve, but I know the community is doing the best they can. This is something that we've never gone through, so we're all learning. And I don't want to be judgmental, but I do believe that we could have done better. But at the same time, we've never gone through anything like this before, so we're all learning.
Sure. Um, as far as what would you say now, skipping over to a different topic, what would you say?
Absolutely.
So, for those of you who don't know, she is running for the 34th district.
Yes,
Is that correct?
that's right. Running for Congress in District 34.
And which how many counties does that encompass?
Well, right now we're going through redistricting, so things
Mm.
might change. So right now you're seeing, Cameron County all the way to Gonzales County. So it's a big part of Texas. But right now we're going through redistricting. It might change a little. I don't see it changing and making it a big difference at all. But we'll see what happens. They have postponed that till the end of the year. I'm hoping before. We need
Yeah.
that, the redistricting to be done way before that. So I'm hoping that, it's not true what they're telling me that it's going to happen till the end of the year.
Yeah. What, in your opinion, the way you see things, what is one of the most important issues going on now in your district?
At this
I like to use
moment,
the word. What do you feel is the most compelling issue right now? And I have my idea as to what it is, but I'm sure you have one also.
yeah, the border crisis right now, of course.
Yeah.
Right now at this moment, yes, we have one of the highest poverty rates, in the United States. We also have a very high unemployment rate as well, and a poor graduation rate, high school graduation rate as well. But right now at this moment is our border crisis, and it's affecting our cities, and we're having to pay for a lot of that. And at the end of the day, we're the ones that are going to pay for it, and we're not going to get refunded by the federal government like they say they are. So many times they only give us a small percentage of what the city is actually spending. So it's really a problem, especially when you have thousands and thousands of people coming in, but yet you're not allowing those with the visa to come in and buy our goods. And it's affecting South Texas because we're used to a lot of people from Mexico come here and shop. They're not able to do that. But yet, we have thousands and thousands of people coming in claiming asylum. We've had over 50,000 children this year coming in alone without their parents. In the month of March, we had 20,000 children. That's just he's made if Biden wanted to make history, he did, because no president's ever done that in the first 100 years, where you have that many children coming in without their parents. Now we're not doing DNA tests, so we're taking their word when they're saying I'm their mom, I'm their father, send this child to me. What guarantees us that we're really sending these children to their family members? I can guarantee you that so many times we're sending these children to a child trafficker. Are we doing it intentionally? No, of course not. But evil exists. And these people are truly evil. And I believe that so many of them are not relatives, are not families, and we're sending these children to the wrong people. I'd rather hold that child with us until we know 100% where we're sending these children to. And like I said, the best thing we could do to these children is sending them back with their loved ones. At least we know that those are their family, and we're not going to ruin their life by handing this child to a child trafficker, because that's what's happening. Unfortunately, the child trafficking is just getting worse and worse every year, especially now with the border crisis, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a huge, burden on our healthcare system. Are they being checked for COVID? If they're not, they should be. If they test positive, now we have to treat them, because we're not just going to let them go untreated. So where's that money coming from?
Us. Us.
Yeah.
That's right. It's us. So and we're already hurting here in South Texas. We're already hurting because we're not recovered yet from, this pandemic. Businesses are starting to open. So we're not recovering. Then we have this, on top of that, is just making it worse. So I don't understand how this administration can continue staying silent and not do anything about the situation, because the people of this district, I'm going to focus in District 34. Philemon Vela should focus on his district. He's still serving. Yes, he announced that he's not running for re-election, but he's still the congressman right now. So he should be putting the people of District 34 first. The Democrat Party needs to realize that they first need to help the American people, help them rise up, recover from COVID-19 pandemic, and then we can move on to something else. But we can't help everyone while the people here are still not recovered. So that's my biggest problem, that, they're staying completely silent. Filemon Vela, I don't think he's even interested. I don't see any Democrat, Texas House, no one here in this district address the current situation. They're talking about other issues, but they're not talking about our border crisis that everyone else is talking about. They're staying completely silent. I don't understand that. They're here to serve their community. They're here to serve the people of District 34, and they're not doing that. And that's the reason why I decided to run, because that's what I want to do. I want to put the families from District 34 first. And I think that your children, my children's future should be a top priority. And I think it's about time that we put our communities first. Our poverty rate needs to be decreased. We need to, help people get back to work. It's just a better future for our district. For so long, our children have to leave South Texas for better opportunities. I want people to come here to South Texas for those opportunities, vice versa.
Yes, absolutely. I'm a big believer in make sure you have your own house clean first before you go and try to change the world and clean other houses and clean somebody
Familia
else's
primero,
house.
right? That was it.
Yeah.
Familia primero. Exactly.
Yeah.
Take care of your family. How are you going to pay your neighbor's bills? How are you going to feed your neighbor's children? You're not paying your bills. You got to pay your bills first. You got to feed your children first. If you're able to help your neighbor, you will. But your family is first. And that's the way it should be. Anyone serving their community, you should be putting your community first. It's really that simple.
It is, and it's funny that especially over the last few years, if you say anything to the contrary, you're considered a racist or whatever else they may call you. And I don't understand.
Yeah, I've been called so many names. I'm like, how? For wanting to help my community? District 34, the majority were Hispanic. So I want to help the Hispanic community. I want to help them rise up. I don't understand how me wanting to put the Hispanic community in District 34 first is a bad thing. But when I say that I want to put them first, I get criticized for it. I get criticized from the left. And I don't understand. Anyone who's going to serve their community, that's what you do. You're there to serve the people you were elected by.
Yes, exactly. We have a comment here from Linda Lopez. A comment and a question, I should say. How do you manage criticism regarding the Congress position you are running for? Erasmo Castro shared his opinion. He was met with backlash from your supporters. How do you unify those who have opinions different from yours? Do you know what she's referring to? I don't know exactly what she's referring to, but you know Erasmo Castro from Brownsville, I'm sure.
Yes. I've never had the pleasure of meeting him. I look forward to meeting him. I got a few endorsements, and I know that a lot of people feel that, why are they endorsing Mayra Flores this early on? I've been endorsed by the Republican National Hispanic Assembly, which is the RNHA, the Texas Latino Conservatives, also the Hispanic Republicans of Texas, and also Cameron County Conservatives, which is I'm very proud of, and many organizations. And I think the reason why is because they see that 22 is a very important year. And it's very important that we elect the strongest conservative to run against the Democrat Party, the strongest pro-God, pro-life, pro-family, pro-America first, that supports our law enforcement, which I believe is very important, and supports our Border Patrol agents. And I think that that's what we need. And they understand that. And they understand that I'm the strongest candidate to run in 22. And that is why they're getting behind it. I'm humbled to have their support. And I feel truly blessed and grateful. And I hope that I get to meet Erasmo soon and earn his support as well.
So the other part of that was how you would unify those, or how do you deal with those who have different opinions than yours?
Well, like I said, I'm open-minded all the time to listen to people's criticism, and I tell them that I'm running a campaign that is going to benefit us all. I think that it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. We all want more money in our pockets. we all want prosperity. We all want a better future for our children. And I think that that message is going to resonate with us all. And they're going to put their family first. And that's what I want. I want South Texas to put their families first. Put the party aside. You should never put, a political party first. Your family comes first. Your faith comes first, not a political party. And if you see that this candidate is going to take care of your family and your needs versus other people's needs, you should vote for that candidate. Don't matter. I don't think we should be loyal to a party. We shouldn't be loyal to no party.
Yeah, yeah,
They're here to serve us. And I tell people all the time, they are working for you. You don't work for them.
right,
We don't
right.
own, they don't own our vote. And I feel that for so long, the Democrat Party feels that they own our vote. They're entitled to, our vote. And, I disagree with that. I think that it don't matter what party you're affiliated, you should work for it, you should earn it. And you shouldn't just expect a vote just because you're a Democrat. And I don't know,
Yeah,
did you see a sign for Filemon Vela in this past 2020 election? Did you see a sign asking, the people to vote for him? No,
no,
I didn't see
no.
no sign. Why? Because he knew the people were going to vote for him no matter what. So
Yeah,
that's what's wrong. You didn't see him block walking Southmost. You didn't see him block walking La
no.
Posada. You didn't see him block walking all those areas. Why? I don't understand. These people have been voting for him for years and years and years, and he's never taken the time to go and talk to his community and see what their needs are. And yet he feels entitled to their vote. So that's what's wrong. They don't own our vote.
Yeah, very well said. I have a, from there we can segue into another topic. It really, it was seen by all this past election, local election, low voter turnout. What the heck can be done? What can you come up with? What are your ideas? How do people get people out to vote? I find it mind-boggling, that and it just, I'm talking the entire Brownsville in particular. We have
I saw the numbers.
population is yeah, you did. Okay. The population is what, 190,000, something like that?
Yeah.
Just for Brownsville. And Cameron County, I was told there are 36,000 registered voters, something like that.
Yeah. No, the numbers are pretty embarrassing. I don't understand why people are not voting in local elections. They're just as important, in my opinion. Local elections are just as important as, I think even more, because these elections are the ones that are going to impact you directly. So I think they're actually more important. But I also think that, I don't know if it has to do with, television. Are they putting it out there, getting the community to go out there and vote? Are they block walking these areas? Are they, doing events and getting the people excited to go out and vote? I've been knocking doors in Bronzeville, and I've had people tell me I've never met a Republican. So, I'm like, I'm like, it's 2021. If you've never met, a Republican in your life, I'm like, I'm sure you've met a Republican, but you just didn't know. But I guess a Republican running for office, they've never had one. And these are, most of the time, they're Spanish conversations, and they'll tell me like, I've never met anyone from the opposite party, so I always just vote for the same because that's all I know. But if they would show me what they stand for and what they're gonna do, well, I'll vote for them. I just vote for the same because I already know what I have here, and I'm like, no, if you want change in your community, you got to vote for change. But at the same time, what are we doing as candidates? Are we reaching out to the community? We can't just expect people to come out and vote for us. I think that we also have to do the legwork. We also have to, make phone calls. I've done it for 4 years. I've seen how one candidate will not block walk, will not phone bank. And then I'll see a candidate who did the block walking and did the phone banking, and I see the difference, a huge
Yeah.
difference. So
Yeah.
if you're not putting the legwork, people are not going to get excited. I think it's very important to get out there to the community. Don't matter the area, you go and block walk. A lot of times, from both sides, well, I'm not going to block walk that area because those people are blue and these people are red. No, absolutely not. When you get elected, you're going to represent all people. So
Yeah.
get out of your comfort zone and go and walk everyone. Don't matter. Go introduce yourself. The people here of South Texas are very good people. They're open-minded. They'll listen to you. They're respectful. Honestly, I've never had someone who's been disrespectful. It's very rare. I think I can name one time, I think, in the entire time I've been, a volunteer and helping out the local GOP. I think I've only had one bad experience in person. Plenty on social media, of course,
Yeah.
but not in person. I've had amazing people who said, you know what, I've voted Democrat all my life, but I'm willing to cross the party lines and vote for you. So because I've never met anyone before. So I think it's very important that, we as candidates also get out there and not just expect people to vote for us. But I know the local elections are not, bipartisan. So go and block walk. Make sure you go and knock every door, do events for your community, make them aware that you're there for them. I think it's very important. And also social media is another, it's very important for them to have a social media platform and get in Telemundo, get in Univision, so they can play in commercials. I don't know. I just think that we all have to work together. I think it's not just the candidates, it's also people need to get involved and volunteer and help people. A lot of people complain of like, have you ever block walked for a candidate? No. Have you ever phone bank for a candidate? No. So we got to do a little bit more. If we want to see real change, we got to do a little bit more. Great. I'm grateful for people who go out there and vote, but we got to step it up a little bit and help our candidates. And dedicate an hour. It goes a long way.
Absolutely. I think nowadays, and especially down here where voter turnout is so low, I think a candidate's job is, one, promote yourself, tell everybody what you stand for. And the second part is going to have to be get people, encourage people to vote. You have to handle all those two things as part of your campaign, and not just, talk about yourself and your platform. But I think it's everyone's job to get people out to vote. It's becoming an epidemic, a different kind of pandemic. Nobody wants to come out to vote.
Yes.
And that's a serious problem.
Very serious.
And I have a problem with those who block walk and don't talk to their people. We had a local election in one of the districts here. There were a couple of candidates in particular who were out there all the time. And those are the two that are in a runoff. So I think running for something, sitting back and, it'll be fine. I don't think that's the way to do it. That's just my opinion. Yeah. We have a comment here from Ozzy. I didn't say Ozzy. I'm just holding for the right time. The district is way too big. Most would say because of gerrymandering. It's a fact that people up north and those on the border don't have the same needs and wants. How will you manage this difference?
It's true. It is very true that every county is different, and that is why it's important to have to get to know every. I'm from Cameron County, yes, but it's my responsibility to go to Jim Wells, to Kennedy, to Gonzales, and get to know also that community and what their needs are. So definitely, I understand that every county is different, and every county has different needs, and I will definitely work with that and make sure that I meet the needs of every county. Definitely, I understand that.
Comment here from Anna Karen Castaneda. It's never too early to start campaigning. I love that you're making yourself known here in the RGV and getting the community informed. Yes, yeah, so some would say, man, some say she started so early. What's going on here? It's way too soon. But I don't know.
Yes.
I was just talking about
Everybody's
that with someone today.
everybody's been telling me that it's way too, a lot of people have been telling me it's early. But to be honest with you, it's 2 years that I have to get to know my community. And if I every day that I wait, I feel like I'm wasting my time from getting to know someone from my district. So I feel like no, I have to get out there and get to know the most people that I can and hear their stories and what their needs are. It's a huge district, like
Mhm.
someone was saying earlier. So it's hard for me to be in all places at the same time. So I think it's for me, I felt it was important for me to start early. Um, I saw in helping other candidates some that would wait and it didn't help. And I felt that if you we would have started earlier, maybe we could have done better. And that's just from previous experiences that I've had from other looking at other races. I've never ran
Yeah.
before, but I have helped other candidates run their congressional race.
And why
Like
is it
that.
we might have touched on this earlier? Um, what made you make that jump to, yeah, I'm getting into politics. I am going to get into politics. Was there something in
Well,
particular that happened?
well, in 2010, around 2010, I started with my family. I started educating my family, and a family member actually educated me on the platform. So I started doing that as well. And I felt that, well, if I can do that with my family members, I can do that with my community. And it just became a passion of mine. And I realized how a lot of people didn't know what we stood for and how the Republican Party shared the same conservative values. And I just felt like, well, I have to go to the next house. And it really, it feels like it's never, I'm never going to finish.
Yeah.
I wish that we would have had more help this past election. We saw a huge, movement. Just imagine if we would have had, the support system, because it was a grassroots effort. What happened here in South Texas, it was all grassroots. So just imagine if we would have had, the support system. So everything that we were doing was coming out of our pockets, driving around, block walking. It was all on us, but it was because we believe in it. It's something that I have a passion for. And I don't know if being a respiratory care practitioner and working with the elderly, like I'm working with the community, I see so many have so many needs, and that also inspires me to help them as well. So I think that it's something that I never expected to do, but I think once I got involved with the local party, I said, why not? I For so many years I'll tell someone, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, and I thought to myself, well, why don't you do it? But for so long, so many people, well, you don't have a law degree, so many would. So I thought that I needed all these things, and I realized, you know what? I don't need those things to run for office. This
Mhm.
this position should be, an American who understands their community. And it should, I believe, strongly believe in term limits. There's people there for 40 years. They forgot what it's like to be a middle class and to be a hardworking, people who work every day to pay their bills. And I think that that's a problem. So many people stay there for decades and decades. And I
Yeah.
strongly disagree with that. We're supposed to just serve our community for a few years and go back to our normal lives and then give that opportunity to someone else. And I think that will prevent a lot of corruption. So people become corrupt after serving, for that many years. That's just my humble opinion. Again,
Yeah.
but I strongly believe in term limits. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's very disheartening to know that someone has been in a certain seat for so long. I mean, decades and decades.
40
And
years. Oh my goodness. I've seen some people have
and
40 years. And I don't care
yeah.
what party you're in. Like I said, I don't care if you're
No,
a
you're
Republican
right.
or a
Yeah.
Democrat. Like, salte.
And have nothing to show for it. That's the worst part. Somebody
Absolutely.
has been there for 4 decades and they have a laundry list of accomplishments and changes they made and stuff. Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you so much. But still, it's time to get some fresh ideas, fresh
Yes.
minds, and different ideas, views. And It's
Yes,
very disheartening
absolutely.
to know people that have been there so long and yet nothing they have nothing to show for it. That's
Exactly.
horrible.
No, it is horrible. Absolutely.
Here we have a comment from Chuck. Hello, Chuck. Welcome to tonight. My opinions differ from yours, but I'm here to learn. Even though I don't live in the 34th district, I want to hear from as many different perspectives as possible.
Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah. Yes. Thanks for
Thank
tuning
you.
in, and that's very
Yes.
important. Everyone should take that attitude. Low turnout here in where's that? Segoville. I don't know how you say
Yes.
that. Brandy. Long hours at work. Okay, this is we're talking about low voter turnout. Because long hours at work probably causing low turnout. I don't know. Even the early voting numbers were horrible. Also, I mean, just
Yeah,
overall,
I think
they
so
were
too.
correct.
Yes. I think it's also we need to take more responsibility, and we can make all the excuses, but I know a lot of people who they just didn't go vote. Just like, oh really? Or a lot of people didn't even know there was local elections going on. A lot of my friends never voted in a local election. It was their first time. And that's mind blowing to me. But I think I've only voted. I think this was also my second time voting on a local election, and that's because I started getting involved. But a lot of people are not as involved as I am. So I think that it's also our responsibility as citizens to know what's happening in our city and not just expect everyone to give us all the information all the time. I think it's important that we know what's happening.
Absolutely. Lorraine, Anna Karen Castaneda, I agree. She's working very hard. She's talking about you. She's working very hard to get acquainted with every district she will represent. I'm very pleased to have seen her at numerous events in Brownsville. Yes,
Thank you,
you have.
Lorraine.
We'll see. I see you're plastered everywhere, and that's a good thing. And
Thank you.
and for that, I think it's a good thing to start early, especially if you want. I mean, you want to put yourself in people's heads. This is the way to do it. To be out there all the time.
Yes. No, I've found a lot of amazing people in Bronzeville and that want to get involved, that, they're just, what do we do? How do I help you? Tell me, they want to. They've been waiting for this moment, and I'm excited that, they want to be a part of that. And a lot of young people, I have a lot of young ones, 17-year-olds that are in high school reaching out to me wanting to get involved, and I think that's very important to get the young
That's awesome.
the young ones wanting to get involved, and they're like, would you please give me the opportunity? I'm like, I'm honored to have you at 17 years old wanting to get involved. I remember being 17 years old, and I knew nothing about local elections or anything. So I applaud these young kids wanting to get involved, and I'm very proud to say that I have a lot of young ones in my team. I love their energy.
That's awesome. It is. I think it's
Yes.
important for young people to get involved at
Yes.
an early stage. I know some of the school districts do have some kind of a program where the students get
Yeah.
involved and have elections and that kind of thing. I think
Yeah.
more of that has to happen. There
Absolutely.
are a lot of great
Absolutely.
minds out there, a lot of young minds that could be
Hmm.
right sitting where you are, 10 years from now. They could be right where you are right now.
Yes, I had a young one of my team members. He said he changed majors because of me, and one day wants to run for office in District 15. He said, and
No.
I was like, wow, that's mind blowing. He's a senior and he needs to start college real soon, but he's going to be doing political science, if I'm not mistaken. But those are the things that I love. I love to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Chuck got another comment. He was doing research on you. He noticed that you have not done the survey for Ballotpedia. I was able to read about your opponent, but not you. Do you have any plans to fill that out?
Actually, we're working on that. So thank you, Chuck. We're pending a few things, but it's something that should be taken care of in the next few weeks.
Okay, that's awesome.
The,
Shonda is it? Go ahead. I'm sorry. You were gonna say?
no, it's okay. No, it's okay. No.
Okay. Shonda lives in Pennsylvania, so she's dealing with a weird kind of politics over there. Also, terrible governor they have. But she has ties to the Valley. And Shonda, I'm forgetting how you have ties to the Valley, but she's very involved with things that happen here. And I know at some point she's going to move back. And it's comments, if you start now and then stop, it was too early. If you start now and keep going back to ask questions and answer them, the trust will grow. So yeah, I agree. It's a good thing that you start early instead of, I mean, what's the point of starting at the last minute? Especially if it's a good way to get your face out there. That's
Yes, it's an
cannot deny
open
that.
seat as well. It's an open seat. So we have to take the opportunity that Filemon Vela decided not to run for re-election. And I truly feel that it's because he's never really felt that he's had to earn his seat and didn't want to work for it. I totally believe that.
Yeah. Another topic sent this in earlier. Somebody said we need casino on the island or here in Cameron County in Brownsville, South Padre Island. What can you do about that? I mean, what are your thoughts of? And I guess that encompasses Texas as a whole, as far as having a casino or casinos here in the state.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people wanting to bring casinos. I don't know. I to be honest with you, I think it is a decision that every city should make, or a state decision. It's something that the people of Texas should vote on. And if the people of Texas decide that that's what they want, then we should, respect that. But I think we should vote on it for sure. The people of Texas should have that decision. It shouldn't
Are
be
you
like,
okay with your opinion on casinos? Are you okay with having a casino here? Having casinos here?
to be honest with you, I went to Vegas and I didn't do very well. And so
That's okay. Not everybody does.
I didn't do very well, and I don't plan to go back. Maybe to go visit, but let's just say that I'm not like I didn't fall in love with with Vegas, and so my personal opinion, I'm not a big fan of casinos, but like I said, I think that it shouldn't be my decision. It should be the people's decision. So I think that the people of Texas should decide and vote on it. And if the people of Texas wants a casino, then we should respect that.
I wanted to switch gears a little bit and talk about the well, I'll call it an energy crisis, and the weather we had here a couple of months ago, the freeze and ERCOT and that whole situation, which was obviously run horribly from beginning to end. And now there was a warning from them again that summer's coming up and we're possibly going to have these same issues with power outages. What can be your involvement in that? Something's got to be done. I don't know if ERCOT is the right entity for us, for the state anyway. And locally, what can you get? How can you get involved to make sure we don't have these? We shouldn't have outages, even rolling ones. We shouldn't have.
No, we should definitely be a lot more prepared. But I think that we've never seen anything like this. Like I said, we were all learning, but we definitely should have been more prepared. I've gone through floods. My house has flooded twice, and you would think that after the first flood, the problem would have been solved, and no, it wasn't solved. So we flooded again. I just think that we're supposed to be learning. And this was something that I don't remember us going through. So everyone, the state wasn't prepared. They never thought we would have those type of temperatures here in South Texas. So I do understand that it's something, that we've never seen before. But now that we have, we should work on making sure that, we can have these blackouts don't happen again when we have these type of temperatures, and not think, oh, well, it's never going to happen again. No, let's act like if it is. Let's act like if it is, and let's make the changes that are necessary. So when it does, we are prepared. I fear for the people that have oxygen at home. So I remember, that was what I was worried about. I was like, okay, what are we going to do with the people that have oxygen, that are on concentrators? Now we're going to have to go drop off e-tanks. And if they run out of tanks, so are they going to have to go to the hospital so they can go connect the concentrator? That's what I was worried about. I was worried about my patients on the ventilator. I was like, okay, making sure that they had a backup battery, and so many of them didn't have electricity for 2 or 3 days, getting them to a family member where they could stay for a few days. That's what I was worried about. And I never want to see my patients ever go through such horrible thing, because what I tell people, if you're healthy and you have at home, you're truly blessed. I remember telling my family that, because here I was with my patients looking for a place for them so they could connect their concentrator because they needed the oxygen to stay alive.
Yeah.
Those Because of them, we should start getting ready and act like if it's going to happen next year, and make the changes necessary so our patients on oxygen at home don't ever go through something like that. Just imagine you have no electricity, you don't have any e-tanks, you're running out, and you depend on this machine to live, especially our ventilator patients, on a trach connected. That ventilator, that's their lung. And if they don't have electricity, that's it. So just imagine, how worried they were. And I never want, our patients to ever go through something like that again. And I've never seen anything like that before. And I've been a therapist for many years, because here in South Texas, we've never had anything like that, those temperatures. So I just think that we should learn from it and just pretend, just act. What if it happens next year? Let's make the changes necessary so it doesn't happen again. And that's a problem, that we think like, well, what's the likely chance of happening in again? And that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I told you before, we talked just for a slight moment before going on the air. I work in the airline business, and we have plans should some disaster happen, God forbid. But every airport has a plan. If this happens, everyone is designated to do something. And there's various, 8 or maybe a dozen backpacks with different instructions and different things to do. So should a disaster happen, even though obviously we don't want it to happen, we don't plan on it happening, but should it happen, guess what? Everybody springs into action, and this is what you're supposed to do. And I think local communities, specifically, I'll say Brownsville in this case, because I live there, I think they need something like that. You can't just not think, well, we're never going to see it again for 100 years. Like, well, we don't know that. I mean, we got caught with our pants down, basically, is what I think. And if you can't make a plan, I think that's a problem in itself. But sorry, I don't mean to stand on my little box here and criticize. Here we have a comment from Anna Karen again. It's difficult having conversations with family members, especially the older ones, to try and make them understand and their values and beliefs aren't aligned with the Democratic Party. It's just so engraved in their heads. Yeah, I get that. You have some I call it old school mentality, where, like you said, they just vote straight Democrat always, no matter what. And you have some, they just don't want to hear anything different. That's frustrating.
I don't know. I've had a different, I guess, block walking, getting to know a lot of people. The Spanish speaking community, I think, are more open. As far as with me, they were always open to hear what I had to say, very respectful. And I would explain, both platforms. And most of the time they were surprised. They actually didn't know. And most of them, would say, well, le voy a preguntar a mi hija. Or, they would tell me that they're going to ask. But at least now I had them questioning. That's all I wanted. But they were always very open-minded. I think to me, those people were, the most welcoming. The Spanish-speaking community, they were more, okay, háblame, dime, ¿qué representa el Partido Republicano? ¿Qué representa el Partido Demócrata? Y cuando les decía, el Partido Republicano es pro Dios, pro familia, pro vida, decían, pero yo también represento esos valores. Bueno, son los mismos valores, y ellos no sabían. So those are the things, that, it's 2020 and they still didn't know that, but, it's our responsibility to get out there and educate the community. And I feel very fortunate that I had the blessing, of getting to meet so many great people, and I continue to meet amazing people that, open the doors of their home and that are willing to hear me speak. And it's my honor.
Very good. John Garza, social media is a must to reach the voters, especially the younger generation. I agree. The more you're online, again, I think you're on the right path, starting early and getting out there and being all over the place. I think that's the way you have to do it. Add a little more social media. Do interviews like this, not just here, but talk to different people and get online. And I think that's very important. Before we get on to my next thing here, Richard Steamboat, how would you handle the temptation or the C word, being corruption, from peer pressure or purpose? How would you react in an official manner, running the risk of being singled out or blacklisted as a political threat to active officials involved in corruption? So I'll take the comment off only because it's big. I don't want to cover us here. Yeah, how would you this question has come up before when my interviews with the commissioner candidates here in Brownsville. How would you handle that? Somebody privately, I would imagine privately, would come to you and say, "Look, you need this done. Help you with this. Here's a little something, or I can take care of you later with this."
Yeah, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. I think that it all depends on the candidates. A lot of candidates have an agenda. They either their families were in politics, or they are, own a lot of businesses, or there's an agenda behind the reason why they're running for office. Like I said, there's no agenda. Nobody in my family has ever been in politics at all. I'm a respiratory care practitioner, middle class American. I still work because I have to work, and bills have to get paid. I'm here just to serve the community, to be honest with me, and it's something that it doesn't even cross my mind that I'll ever do. I just want the District of 34. I want to see it prosper. Yes, I want to grow as well, but along with me, I want my community. I want us to all rise up. It's not just about me. So a lot of times people get elected, they become, they grow and have an amazing life, but yet their community is still down there.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. I believe that we should all rise together, and that's what I want for my district, and that's what I want for my community in District 34. It doesn't even cross my mind at all to ever do such thing.
Good. I'm glad. Everyone should be glad to hear that.
Yes.
Betty Rubble is a fan. She says we need fresh new blood in Congress because we have people that don't want change or have old ideas that don't work. That is correct. Mr. Chuck Nelson's got your opinion on this. Today, Texas House passed HB 4492, a $2.5 billion bailout for the Texas electricity market. To pay for that, citizens of Texas would be charged fees for 10 to 20 years for this. That is not good. Your opinion on that, HB 4492?
I don't know a lot about that. I'm sure I'll read about it and learn more about that bill for sure. I don't have an opinion on that, just because right now I've been focusing on voter integrity. That's really been my main focus. But thank you, Chuck. I'll definitely look into this bill and learn about it and see what's it about.
But generally speaking, bailing out, an industry and then passing that cost on to the consumer, it's not a popular item for the consumer. Whether it's their mismanagement or whatever the industry is going through, I don't believe it's something that the consumer should have to pay to bail out and get higher rates. As a result, we're going to pay more.
No, we should never have to bail out a company because they went bankrupt because of the decisions that they made. Absolutely not. I think that if they want our help, if they want the government to help them, with their business, they should pay back that money.
I agree. Yeah, that's
They should
here
they should
in,
pay back that money. If you need to save your business, sure, we'll help you, but you have to pay back that money. The American people shouldn't have to bail you out because of the decisions that you've made, especially in California. There's a lot of businesses who went bankrupt because of the poor decisions that they made. California is asking for bailouts, but they made decisions that hurt the American people in California. They're responsible for that. Why would Texas be responsible to pay for your mistakes? So of course, I definitely disagree with that.
I agree. Shauna says, I'd be demanding to see the contingency plan for extreme temperatures, but also tornado damage, hurricane damage. Yeah, the one thing I've mentioned before to the commissioners when I did interviews with the commissioners here for Brownsville, this happened in a freeze. Imagine what could have happened in a bad hurricane. And we get them we have to deal with hurricane season every year. And we've been lucky.
Yeah.
We've been lucky.
I
But
got flooded during Hannah, and that's not because it wasn't that bad. So I can't just imagine, a 3 or 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes me nervous. I mean, look what
Very
happened just with the
nervous.
freeze.
Yeah, I tell people, I don't live in a flood zone, but buy flood insurance. I had to purchase it, and I didn't have flood insurance the first time, and I purchased it the second time, and thank God, because there's just no way I would have been able to afford. It was over $100,000 in damages. I wouldn't have been able to afford something like that. So
Yeah.
even if you don't live in a flood zone, don't ever trust the government helping you. Get flood insurance. I think it's like $400 a year.
Yeah.
If you have a home that is, we work so hard for a home, so I think
Yeah.
that $400 a year is worth it.
Absolutely. Sorry, House of Reps. Term limits should be in place so we get new ideas and plans can be added to make changes that are needed to stay up to the times. I agree 100%.
I agree, Betsy. I agree 100%.
Brandy says, yes, we need to be educated. That's for sure.
Yes.
Hector, Black Walk on Southmost. There was a lot of support for President Trump. That surprised me.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? That is true. I've noticed, I have to say I was surprised by the amount of support that he had. I mean, not just Brownsville, but the entire valley.
Yeah, we saw an 83% surge in compared to the 2016 election to the 2020. We saw an 83% surge for President Trump in District 34.
Holy
83.
cow.
83.
Wow.
Not making it up, he lost by 3%. And what happened in District 34 was that over thousands of people, I think over 30,000 people, didn't go down the ballot. They went just to go vote for the president. That's it. Just
Right.
President Trump. They didn't go down the ballot. If they would have gone down the ballot, District 34 would have flipped. But they didn't. He was the most popular one. They didn't know who the other candidate was. And a lot of the people, in the area didn't know. So they didn't want to mess up. So they just voted for Trump, and that's it. I had a lot of people who told me, I just voted for him because I didn't know for anyone else to vote for. And I didn't want to vote, for a Democrat or for, accidentally. So I just left it. And most people are this, believe it or not, the Spanish speaking community. So many of them told me that they just saw Trump and that's it. And they didn't go down. They just voted for him. They didn't want to mess up. They're like, no, I just saw his name and just,
and that's it. They were good with that. Yeah.
They were good with that. And I was like, no. But at the same time, it's the candidate's responsibility. If Trump was able to get known in District 34, you as a candidate should have gotten your name out there too. So at the same time, it's your responsibility.
Agreed. I wanted to get your opinion. One of the last things here on SpaceX. We're having an issue here in Brownsville with SpaceX, where the access to the beach is interrupted more often than originally was, let's say, estimated. and many people are not happy about the situation. So some have brought up the idea, well, Elon Musk should, or SpaceX, I should say, should maybe build another highway, another road, a different
Yeah,
route, and leave Highway 4 there to them.
that's
What's
a
your
good
opinion on
option.
this situation? Yeah.
Well, that's definitely a good option for sure. I think to be honest with you, that's a great option, but I think it's great that, they're here. I think it's going to bring jobs to here to South Texas. That's what we need. We need jobs down here. We need the attention here in South Texas, especially in Bronzeville, not the spotlights in Bronzeville. I think that's amazing. So we have to, change is it's difficult to adjust to change. I think that's the problem, that we're not used to it. But we're open to all ideas, and I think that's a great idea. But I think it's great that he's here and he's wanting to invest in Bronzeville. I was very happy to see that. I was like, wow, that's amazing. To see someone like him, actually interested to come here to Bronzeville and wanting to make our community better. I think that's amazing, and I'm grateful for that. To be honest with you, anyone who wants to provide jobs, I'm all for it. Jobs, 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 jobs. Especially
Yeah.
the higher paying jobs,
Yes, and some would argue that these higher paying jobs, which are a little very more technical jobs, are not being given to the Brownsville residents or the local area, and we don't, the people are just not technically qualified or have the education to fill those positions. So the idea is, what, maybe Elon Musk and SpaceX should work with the Texas education system,
That's right.
and with the
Yes,
school
yes,
here, and guess what? Let's
absolutely.
do a training
Yes,
program here so that once they
yes,
graduate, we can put them to work right here in Cameron County at SpaceX. Something like that
yeah.
needs to be done.
I love that. Actually, that would be a great idea. And that's what we need to do. And that's how we'll increase our graduation rates, because we do have, poor graduation rates. And we need to, get our children to finish school and, get them to go to college. College is not for everyone. I do believe that. And I know plenty of people who didn't go to college, and, they're doing amazing things. And that's great. But I want them to have the options. You want to go to college? Great. You don't want to go to school? Okay, these are the other options that you have.
Yeah.
This career, you don't need a degree, and you can, have an amazing life. You can become a customs agent, you can become a border patrol agent. There's just so many opportunities, out there that, are just as important. And I think serving our country is the best thing you could do. So for me, that's always an option as
Absolutely.
well. Yeah.
We get through a few more comments before we wrap up here. Betty Rubble, how will you let the public know what is going on and your idea of plans for the future of the area if you do represent? Honestly, I get emails from FV, you know who that is, but don't have time to read them, and I hate junk mail. Yeah, she wants to know how are you going to communicate with everyone, with your people?
Yes. Well, I encourage you to go to my website and put in your information, your phone number, and your email, so you can start getting also my emails. I encourage you to go to my website and look at the issues that are important to me and that I want to focus in District 34. I'm constantly on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on also on Twitter, and every day talking about the issues that are important to me and that are happening around, because I think it's important that we know what's happening in our country. Maybe something that is happening somewhere else, but it's going to affect us also. I think it's important. So I encourage you to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I encourage you to go to my website as well and input your information so you can start getting my emails as well.
Awesome. Lydia, Mayra Flores has my vote. She's a great example that we Latinos can vote Republican/conservative. The truth is, any Latino I've ever met with success achieved that success through policies put in place by Republicans and conservatives, not Democratic policies. It's our time, our country recognize that what policies will help their families get out of poverty, not stay in it. Yes, well
Amen.
said,
Thank
Lydia.
you, Lydia. Thank you, Lydia.
Brandy Mayra, property taxes are sky high. Will school districts be held accountable for spending corruption and overtaxing? That's from Brandy.
No, I believe in voting to reduce our taxes. I think that, we do pay high taxes, especially here in South Texas. But at the same time, again, we have a high poverty rate, a high unemployment rate. So to bring our taxes down, we got to bring that down as well. We got to help people get back to work, and we got to get people out of poverty and bring down those taxes and help, the American people, especially our business owners that are paying this, high taxes that are affecting us all. And so many businesses not moving, their companies to other countries because they don't want to pay that, that high
Right.
tax. And a lot of people, think like, let's tax the rich. Well, you want to destroy the rich, you're going to destroy the poor as well. We need us all. We need all of us to work together. And a lot of people have this mindset to destroy the rich, not understanding that we need us all. And we can't destroy the rich without hurting the poor.
I agree. For the most part, we'll call them the rich, but I'll say big corporations do get a tax break because ideally they're creating jobs and getting people employed, and that's why you give them tax breaks. It's like, it's a trade. It's like, we'll give you a break as long as you're going to create 1,000 jobs or 2,000 jobs for the area or whatever. Okay, that's I see that as a fair trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. One of the last comments here, Shauna says, a highway brings its own headaches also. Rights to land, easements, watersheds. Yeah, that's true. It is. So they have to, I think they do need to go back and look at the agreement again and find out what happened. It was only supposed to be closed, X number of times a month or per year. And now it seems like it's closed all the time. So that is something that will need to be looked at again. What do you don't have a whole lot of time off. What do you do with your family when you're not working, when you're not campaigning? What do you like to do? What do you like to go eat? What do you with your favorite food? How do you spend your time relaxing?
Well, I'm about to, after we're done, we're going to go and celebrate our anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. But I was just telling my husband earlier that people don't value just being able just to go home. Lately I don't get to just go straight home from work. I have to go do a lot of other things. So just coming home and, being with my kids, to be honest with you, now I value it more, for sure. And that's my favorite thing to do, honestly, just come home and be with them. And I love going to the beach and spending weekends there with them as well. We're excited about Disney. In a few months, we're going to go to Disney. I'm excited about that as well. Yeah, family is everything for me, for sure.
What's your favorite food? What do you like to eat?
Tacos.
Really, tacos?
Yes, tacos. Yes, everybody that knows me knows, that I love tacos. Yes.
Do you have a favorite place?
There's this place. It's a family member, and Tacos al Barbón here nearby. So they're my favorite place here. But I have tacos everywhere in Bronzeville. When I'm my lunchtime, I love tacos.
So do I. And when I'm not in town, I tend to miss them. And whether it's the tacos or fajitas, get a kilo from, well, it used to be from Beagles. But now I'm looking for a new fajita place. So if anybody knows of a good place, yeah, that's something that I look forward to as well.
Let me know, and yes, definitely let us know, and we'll go out there.
Mayra, I want to thank you for joining us this evening. Hopefully, the people got to know you, and
thank you.
You are welcome on again. You are welcome on again anytime you want. You have something to say, or I may reach out to you and say, "Hey, we need to talk about this." You know, people want to know.
Yes,
you are welcome at any time.
Yeah, reach out to me. My mind is everywhere, so feel free to reach out to me if something comes up, and we'll definitely plan it out. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Everyone, thank you for hanging out with us tonight and getting to know Mayra Flores. For those of you who are new to the show, please give my page a like on Facebook.com/Manny Behind the Mic and YouTube.com/Manny Behind the Mic. Also, give us a subscribe. And we've got merchandise at mannysmerch.com. You get the t-shirts with the logos and a lot of fun things there. Mayra, thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you. God bless you. God bless America.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.